They called it the Shriek, they did. A fierce, monstrous thing of pure darkness that emerged from the far west, the saying goes. No one honestly could explain why it appeared. What we do know is that it appeared a few thousand years ago, and it basically lay waste to the civilization that went before ours. In short, things were looking pretty dark back then. Parsods kicking the bucket left, right and center. Terrible mess. Something of a lost generation. And then he came along. Now there was a hero you could swoon at. Broad-chested mass of bulky, brutal, no-nonsense violence. Thankfully pointed in the right direction. He took up the sword and with bare-faced bravery, or a stupidity that superseded common sense, took the fight to the nefarious Shriek. And eventually he managed to banish it. Ceremonious victory, huzzah! But he wasn't entirely done. He had enough juice in him to boss the survivors around. He instructed them to build a lighthouse. He said that once its magical flame lit up, he would return and vanquish the evil that inevitably would pester the world once again. Thankful for the hero's work, the survivors of this war pitched in and built the lighthouse. And just to show how appreciative they were, they built a city in his honor at its very base. Malat, my home. And then, then he packed his bags and vanished, faded into the mists of time without another word. Now, a few thousand years later, Malat stands as a shining jewel of the civilized world. Of course, the Malad Wizards Concord, the head honchos of this city-state, were getting slightly bothered about the long silence from our supposedly ageless hero. They insisted that time was running out, and the Shriek would return soon. Thus, they made the decision to send someone to the last known place they speculated he traveled to. The Great Block, a weird and wonderful world only accessible by way of powerful magics. Plenty of people had gone out, trying to find this hero of ages gone by, and not a single one had returned. Obviously, they needed someone expendable, someone who wouldn't be horribly missed in case things went awry. And that someone, you might venture to guess, successfully no less, was me. My name is Heronimus Julius Inc. And this is my story. This is a big pile of hogwash. Right then, let's get to work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of The Perilous Adventures of Heronimus Inc. It is a little Let's Play series with a bit of a narrative slant that I have been tinkering with for a bit of some time now. The character I'm playing is this wonderful fellow here. He's called the titular Heronimus Inc. in this case. And yeah, basically we've just arrived to this new and weird place, and there is a few starting messages with my swanky little backpack here. The fact that you can sort of just remove it again, and then it's on your back. One of the best things ever. Anyways, let's have a look here. Because there is a little opening some opening words here, and they're called the Science Word. Shall we have a read? First entry, year 19 and 80 and 6 PR, day 450, to the illustrious reader. Oops. You lay eyes upon the chronicles of his utmost loyal and humble servant Ibrahim ibn Ibrahim, 53rd scion of the shining jewel of the sunburned sea that is Smelad. Enclosed within are the observations and forthright studies into the Great Block. This tome has been transposed through the Star Gardens back to Malad as per instructions to facilitate the swift acclimatation, I don't know, of any agent of our cause that might follow in my steps. As my prior findings suggested, the Great Block is not, as formerly assumed, barren and devoid of life. On the contrary, I have indeed found my breath quite stolen from the sheer vitality I have encountered. Whatever calamity that ravaged this distant world has faded into time. I fear that this might make my search for the heroes of ages gone by more difficult, however. Be warned, it is not a safe place either. With life comes predators. I am myself reminded about this following the near end of my journeys at the hand of a large cat-like beast. I managed to evade it, eventually using sorcery. But worse yet, the night carries a distant size of something unnatural. I have been compelled to create a more solid shelter about a mile to the west from here. Go forth and find this shelter. While I might not be present myself, it could provide a roof above your head. There I shall leave further instructions and notes that shall fortuitously help you in your own treks. Ibn Ibrahim, 53rd scion of Malad. So yes, basically we have our little trek ahead of us. Now, it should be mentioned that this fellow here wrote this book approximately 250 years before ink here arrived, so the fact is, the likelihood of him being around is probably not going to be something I'm going to bank my money on. In any case, let's set out. To the west of here is this direction, more or less. So, yeah. The idea is that, as you can see, I've added a few interesting things here, a few mods I will be delving into. And it should be noticed, I haven't played Minecraft for years on end. I've been following all kinds of different styles, different Let's Play series into this, but I've actually never really picked it up after I stopped playing for approximately, what was that, perhaps 3 or 4 years ago? So, you will probably notice the following. What would seem granted to you, I'll be bumbling through like a bloody idiot. Also, on this potato computer, I've made the decision to lock it to 30 frames per second. I will pretend it adds a cinematic feel. Wonderful excuse, rock solid. But in any case, let's just head out for now. And allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you to my perilous adventures. So yeah, basically I have done a bit of animation just to introduce and set the world. It's something that I've been enjoying doing. The point is here, with being locked to 30 frames per second, some of you will probably find it a bit choppy. I don't know, I particularly like it. It gives that particular feel to it, if you ask me, and then it also incidentally means that all my animation that I've done in TV Paint, by the way, will sort of integrate itself a bit easier. Jesus Christ, already we're off to the... Yes, you'll notice that I've added some, a whole different slew of mods of different kinds, which I will be delving into. Among other things, I will have Astral Sorcery, some, what was it called? Lexica Botanica? I mean, basically plant magic. Plant magic! I don't know how that works. The only plant magic I'm aware of is shrooms. Sorry. In any case, and you also notice that there are some Geisel greens, and yes, I will be playing with some of that amazing Chocobo mods, Chocobo stuff out there. It's one of those mods that we've really been waiting to been waiting to get my hands on. And as you might have noticed, there might be a few, well, I'll just be honest with you, there might be a few scripted things, but, I mean, I'll just be upfront with it from the get-go, and I think, regardless of that I might have a little interesting story that I wish to tell to you folks. So, basically, what you can expect from this is a bit of a mix between some bloody noob getting his head wrapped around what changes have happened to this game so far, and a bit of a attempt to tell a little fun story about a bumbling wizard's traversals of this new and wonderful world that he has stumbled himself into. Anyways, I do have a potential impression that when I say that I'm stupid and I'm probably going into some of the other mods, for example, Astral Sorcery, maybe I'm going to a particular place where I'm going to be very surprised about just how complicated some of these mods are, which is amazing, by the way, considering how deep some of these mods are. Now that out there looks awesome. Also, there's, among other things, there's some Twilight Forest thrown into there, and just generally a few how could you say, quality of life improvements to the UI and stuff. I have disabled some of the more... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Good lord. Exactly how heavy was that bird? Apparently elephants come in all kinds of sizes these days. But look at this, look at this. I mean, the shaders, I think, make this game, which I already found very beautiful, just look even more amazing, and I can't wait until night falls, and then I will be able to really appreciate when the torches are brought out, and as I begin to run around and try to survive whatever onslaughts will be happening down in caves, just to see how the light works down there. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have so much fun with this. So, if you were wondering what the other books were in my possession, right when we started, well, the point is, I like to add a bit of story to the games I play. I generally like to indulge in a bit of roleplay. So first and foremost, we have our Malad Guide. Basically, it is also known as the Kulat Kabila, and it details the collect observations of about 5 other adventurers that came before Ibn Ibrahim. And it has this expansive explanation as to what they've experienced as they traveled to this great block. We have to remember that this isn't actually Ink's home world. He comes from an entirely other place, which we may or may not see more to in the future. Then we have the Arcane text tome that more or less details the many spells he has, hundreds and hundreds of tightly scribbled pages detailing advanced magical theory. Basically, this fellow here is you could say a specialist in conjuration magics. You'll be able to use this to better create buildings much faster than most people otherwise would. Let me just check. Yeah, cool. I mean, I just love those huge mushrooms here. So yeah, this sort of gives an introduction to what Ink is all about. And speaking of buildings, well, would you look at that? The shelter that Ibn Ibrahim spoke about. I mean, we can already from here see that it's in a rather dilapidated state. Or is it dilapidated? I can't recall. Yeah, and so we actually found it after approximately, what was that, 20 minutes of walking? I can't exactly recall. And there we have the royal red colors of the Malat Wizards Concord, popping unceremoniously into view as we come closer. Yeah, it really looks like it's really stood the test of time, or more or less. There's like a tree that has grown up through its roof, I think. Up we go, there we are. There pops your uncle. Wow, that's a rickety bridge. Oh, I have to probably repair that at a time. But look at this. This is an absolute... Ugh. It's a mess. have a look inside in just a minute, but let me just grab this. Can I? No. I wouldn't probably not. I know using sword durability and leaves is just... Oh, good lord, look at all this. Yeah, it's very obvious that this place has really been allowed to the ravages of time. Oh, look, there's some... I think that's some wild potatoes. I could probably use those. I'll just grab some of those. Yeah, well, it looks pretty run down. I wonder what this is all about. I mean, can you even crawl up? Seems like it for some part. Oh, well, just don't fall to my sudden unending death right there. Well, it looks... the view here is nice. Whoa. But, I should probably see if I couldn't repair this tower. I wonder what it's for. Oh, I like the bench. I mean, I could probably have a little seat here when the sun is out and I've cleared all of this absolute mess here. I wonder what this is. That wasn't a lot. Is there a little secret? No. No secret passageway. Yeah, it's a pooper. It's basically a stinker for when you want to take a leak, but you don't want your zombie to go and eat your face off. Without further ado, let's go inside and see if there's something here to jump out at me. No. There's some nice amenities here. A furnace, a crafting table, and a couple of chests. Well, that's decaying wheat. Well, yeah. What awesome loot. Oh, this is a bit better. Another backpack, a bow and some arrows. Don't mind if I do. For that long distance game. Let's have a look up here to see what happens. Well, would you look at that? This is a nice place. Oh, and we have one of those telescopes that apparently is very important to the whole astral sorcery thing. I have no idea what it does, but I can't wait to get into it. Like star magic, it's pretty neat. We have a little chest here. I'll just have a look up here on top to have a look at. Yeah, this is a pretty nice place. Very defensible. Of course, there's a few structural integrity, some structural integrity we need to sort out first. But yeah, I mean, this could work. This could actually work. Let's just come down there. Goddamn auto jump. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Yeah, there we have it. The Chocopedia. I can't wait to get into this one, because I think those chocobos are absolutely adorable. Oh, and we have another science word. Let's see what this Ibn Ibrahim has to say about him. Second entry, day 418. Okay. My shelter stands finished. 100 blessings on those who pioneered the art of the architect, for such swift construction was needed. The shadows grow particularly black in these lands. Except I feel as if these shadows have teeth and beady eyes set for my humble flesh. I hear things shuffle on the other side of my walls. Take heed, traveler. I have not yet seen what it is, and I'm in the mind I'd rather not enjoy the experience soon. As rattling as this is, it does not deter me from the revelation that has been thrust upon me. My instruments have truthfully found deposits of old magic. Knowing that the hero of ages gone by left in his wake such potent telltale signs of his umbral being, two directions have been made aware to me. A surge of magical energies further to the west, perhaps a few days' travel if my calculations are to be trusted, and a weaker one to the south by southeast. I have decided to inspect the western source first. I should return once I have learned more and see to the other source then. I bid you in the interim to make use of my library and educate yourself on what I have found during my stay. A year's worth of knowledge is verily within your grasp. I shall point you, in particular, to the collected knowledge I have accrued on the curious large walking birds that occasionally roam the plains. You can perhaps in them find a trusty compatriot, if you arm yourself with patience. Sincerely yours, Ibrahim Ibn Ibrahim. What a coincidence! It's almost as if he left this for me so I could learn more about these chocobos. Wow, isn't that a surprise? Well, in any case, I better just have a walk around to see what I need to get done around here, and yeah. So then, I've checked out the premises of this particular establishment, and, well, with the sun slowly crawling down towards the horizon, I mean, look at that, isn't that just beautiful? I think it's so pretty. I mean, look at all those sun rays, they're just going like, Ptsoo! Anyways, as I was saying, we have a bit of work ahead of us. We need to make sure that this farmland gives us the ability to actually survive for a bit longer. And of course we have to shore up all these nasty holes, because probably zombies will be able to spawn if I try to go to sleep. But otherwise, let's just put a little intention up on the screen here for a bit. And with that stated, I think it's time to wrap things up. I hope that you folks will have as much fun following my little weird experiment I've thrown myself into. As much as I enjoy, of course, making these videos. I mean, the fact that I just get to play Minecraft again is going to be amazing, because I feel completely going into this blind. And that's an amazing feeling in this case. In any case, that's all for now, and if you're interested to see where all of this is going, well, you know the drill, nothing new there. Leave a like, hit a subscribe button, slam a ding-a-ling-dong bell, share it with your friends, or your enemies, as revenge for their slights against you. Huh? But until then, I will see you in the next video, and thank you for the attention so far. Now, ta-da!